Hello, I'm Rich Dean with West Coast Collector Cars in Oregon, and today I've got a really cool 1955 Ford Thunderbird to show you. Now this one's a little different than most in that it's been lowered a little bit, so you might take note of that low profile. It looks really cool, and it's really set up nicely with the wheel and tire package. Of course, you got steel wheels here that are red with the Ford hubcap and trim ring, and actually it works out nicely and matches the red pinstripe. Now what I like about the pinstripe is it's just very subtle, just a nice little styling cue. It's not all over the map and, you know, kind of overdone, I guess I should say. It looks great. But this is a very nice little Thunderbird. Originally a white car, call it Colonial white, which is just an off-white. But this is the original color for the car. It was repainted, but it's been probably at least 20 years ago. Paint's been on it a long time. I believe it's a single stage paint. It doesn't appear to be a base coat, clear coat. But it is nice paint. All the glass is nice. You've got the little Ford, still got the little Ford logos in here. Very clean. Now, in 1955, when you got the T-Bird, you got a hardtop like this, and you did not get the porthole. That didn't come out until 1956. And so a lot of times back then, you know, people wanted that porthole, so they went ahead and cut them. So you don't really see too many without the porthole, but this is actually how it should have been. And additionally, in 1955, Ford had the 6-volt system, electrical system. And this one has been upgraded to a 12-volt system, like what it would have been in a 1956 and newer. And the nice thing about that, as we all know, a 12-volt system is a more stable system. You know, better batteries, starts better, lights work better, batteries last longer and all that. So this has already been upgraded to all that, so you don't have to worry about any of that. But let me show you in the interior here. Got a nice black and white seating, and the door panels are really nice. Carpet's nice. Already got seat belts, so I don't have to worry about that. Dash is excellent. All the gauges work with the exception of the clock. Got the little dash dome light working there. Little heater works. This is actually a power seat, so you've got the mechanism here. That's what that is. And behind here, in this piece here, is actually a stereo that you can operate by remote. It's got manual windows, and they roll up nicely. And I should point out too, you see these snaps here? They're all along the interior. I have got a canvas tonneau, so when the top is off, you can snap that tonneau. It's even got kind of a little recess for the steering wheel, but you can snap that on if it's sitting, you know, at a car show or something. You don't want to get dust in there. Or you can actually unzip it in the middle, have the passenger side covered while you're the driver and you're driving, and you got part of your car covered on the interior. So that's kind of nice. So that does come with the car. Doors shut nicely. Nice shut lines, nice and even. Very straight. This car's probably straighter than it would have been new. Now back here, this is only in 55 did you have these cross flags, which I really like this. You see this on the back here like you do on the gas cap cover and also on the front. 1956 had a Thunderbird, so 55 was the only year you got that, and 1956 was the only year of the baby birds, the 55, 6, and 7 that had the Continental kit, carried the spare back here on the Continental kit. And if you don't know, the story about that is Ford gave Frank Sinatra a 1955 Thunderbird one time, and he was struggling to get his golf clubs in there in the trunk because it carried the spare in the trunk. And I guess, I don't know if he told somebody at Ford, anyway, the story goes, or the legend goes, that the very next year they moved the spare out onto the out onto the bumper. But I don't know if that's actually true or not. I've never heard any confirmation to it, but a little story for you there. And the bullets that you see here, originally the exhaust here would have come out of these bullets. But this has been capped now, and it's probably not a really bad idea, because what would happen with the exhaust being here, a lot of times this would kind of rust out. So in 1955, this is where your exhaust exited. 56 would have been out here on the corners, and then 57 would have had a shark mouth in the back on the bumper. But anyway, they are still here. They look good, and the person could reroute them and put them there if they wanted to. Show you in the trunk since we're here. Nice clean trunk. You even got a matching spare and wheel here. I think the trunk mat is glued down, so you can't see it, but this would be an opportunity to tell you, this is the jack here, if you haven't done so already, you might go to the website westcoastcollectorcars.com, where I've got pictures of the car, and of course the undercarriage. Now the undercarriage is clean and no rust under there, but it's not detailed up or anything. It's not real pretty under there, but it's original. It's not damaged. Nice solid frame, door panels, rockers, and so forth. No damage. This is a nice drive. This is one of the nicest running little T-Birds I've ever had. And I'm going to start it here in a little bit, and you'll hear it run, and I'll drive it around the parking lot for you. But tail lights here. Now this is a blue dot, so that was kind of an old hot rodder's trick. So when you hit the brakes, it kind of almost gives sort of a magenta color. Again, important, your shut lines are all nice and clean. This is such a nice little car. Really like this one. Take you in on the driver's side here. Nice door panels, as you can see. There's your power seat mechanism. Now this one does have an aftermarket steering wheel on it, and the good news about an aftermarket steering wheel like this is it's smaller than the original, and the original's kind of just made it that much more tight in here. T-Bird's had this collar here. You can see this collar. If you turn this collar, you can move the steering wheel in and out like that. Move it closer to you or move it back. There's not a lot of room in these anyhow, so it's not a bad idea just to leave it in the back position, but depending on how tall you are. Ford-O-Matic automatic transmission. Works good, shifts nicely. Got a couple of aftermarket gauges down there for your temperature and oil pressure. You almost have to get in the car to open the hood, because the hood latches between the driver and the passenger. Got your little V8 call outs and this nice little trim piece here. Up front, bumper's nice. Nice grill, very clean, all the bright work. Very nice. And the Thunderbirds, all 3 years of the baby birds, got the little hood scoop here. Take you under the hood. This is a 312 V8. You can see that these are the original exhaust manifolds, but they've been coated, so they look kind of nice and gray, and they'll stay that way. They won't rust out. Power steering. It's got a little Holley 4-barrel. Now, originally, this engine, being in 1955, it would have had a Holley carburetor, but it had been what they call the teapot, which is sort of this round, sort of carburetor, which worked great when it did, but they could tend to be a little problematic. And then by 1957, they went more to this style of carburetor, which is, a little easier to work on and certainly more reliable than those other ones were. But I'm not taking anything away from the other carburetor, other than, this is just a nice, little better performing carburetor. Just a really sweet little T-Bird. Close the hood. What I find I like to do on these is close it like this, and then get to the middle, push down, and that'll latch it. That way you're not dropping the hood or anything. So what I like to do now is I'll hop in the car and I'll start it and just drive it around the parking lot a little bit so you can kind of see what it looks like moving under its own power. But very cool. Again, lowered a little bit, so it kind of gives it that edgy hot rod look, but very nice driving little T-Bird. Steers nice and tight, you know, brakes work well. This is a great car. You could daily drive this one. You could actually daily drive this if you wanted to. It's just, it runs and drives that nicely. Not sure if you can tell, but definitely not fighting this T-Bird to drive it. You can drive it with one hand. Very effortless. Got an excellent turning radius on it too. Little transmission shifts nicely. Just a nice driving, tight car. Headliner's nice. The top is in excellent condition. Man, you can take this anywhere. Take it to a car show and you know, do that kind of thing with it if you like, you know, but really, I got to tell you, man, this would be an excellent one just to drive around, cruise around, you know, drive it anywhere you want. It just feels nice, and it's got a really good, you know, running engine. You know, I heard it start. It just, you know, look at this. It just right up. No effort. Yeah, love it. Little Thunderbird bird on the dash here. But if I can answer any further questions for you about this 1955 T-Bird, don't hesitate to give me a call. Again, my name is Rich Dean, and this is West Coast Collector Cars. My number is 503-851-6763, and thank you for watching today.